welcome to the Team 7 podcast. We are back once again with Zach and Asher. Asher's making his little snarl face, letting all the fans know, don't mess with me right now. We're about to talk about Naruto. And I get it. Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool look. So, we were in episodes 272 through 278, and then 282 and 283. Did you guys enjoy the batch overall? We're just in this war arc. Like, lots of development though.
It was so good.
All right, tell me why.
I was about to text you. I was like, I'll save it for this. It goes back to that original conversation about the payoff again. Like, seeing the development of... I'm really flipping the script on my original take of, like, the reanimation. Because there's so much that we would have missed out on if we hadn't seen these people again in, like, a tangible way.
Yeah.
But the payoff of some of the people we've been with since day one is in full effect here. A lot towards the end. Naruto just getting context in, like, the will of fire conversation is, like, in full effect here. Yeah, just overall, I was just very satisfied with where the story's going. And yeah, I'm excited to keep going. It's like, I don't know, it just kind of refuels that understanding of, like, this is a big deal, and well, where we're at in the story is a big deal. But yeah, overall, it was just, it might not be like one of my favorites.
Yeah.
In terms of batches, but like, it's definitely supreme.
That's good. That's good though. Like, you want the content that is just driving the story forward to also still be good. Like, if only like the big parts were amazing, then I think Naruto would feel kind of annoying to watch, because you get, like, I even wrote a note about it, but like, we had an episode 1 callback in this batch. Like, that was crazy and out of nowhere. I didn't even think about like that possibility, but the show is like that. And that episode wasn't a huge episode. It was just Naruto, like, figuring some stuff out. It wasn't anything too crazy. And maybe that's like a little too much praise for the show, but I love that about Naruto. I think that if you don't experience it, if you don't force yourself to experience it once, then you're not addicted to it enough to like buy into it. Meaning, like, I will put in the time to get these big payoffs. So even in these like other episodes where this batch is, like I've said a couple times already, nothing like too crazy, but still great. So first we see Mifune and Hanzo, which was pretty cool. I think Mifune is a pretty cool character.
Can I just tell you, I was like, this is a bummer. Like, I don't care about Mifune. Like, when the episode started, I was like, who is this? Like, they're helping out the Shinobi or whatever. They're the samurai. And then by the end of, God, what episode was it? True Kindness. Yeah. By the end of 270, that all happened in 2 episodes, which was crazy. By the end of that, I was like, holy shit. I mean, back to what Zach said, like, we would have missed out on so much stuff and like good, rich backstory.
Yeah. It's so stupid, but even in the middle of that, there was a little like side cut scene where the reanimated people were making contact with the allied forces, and Chio says, she's like, I don't want you guys to think I wasn't dead. Like, people are going to think I was playing possum this whole time. Like, that's our number one. She's like, please tell everyone I'm actually dead. I love that.
And she even, like, as soon as that happened, Kakura was like, yeah, sure, whatever.
He's like, yeah, okay, we'll tell him.
I think
what a troll.
I think what I love most about Chiyu is like her ability to like give people funny names like Naruto.
Mhm.
Like she called Hanzo Snorkel Face at one time.
Old man snorkel face.
Yeah. And she, did that with everybody she encountered. So
I love it.
You mean this Chio?
Yeah,
Oh my
that one.
gosh.
Playing possum. So Mifune and Hanzo basically stand there for several minutes, just blades
Blade to blade.
clinked, and they're just like standing there reminiscing. And it's a sweet moment. But the number one problem I have with that entire fight is now if you don't have that backstory, then you don't get the like poison sack reference at all. But the poison sack shouldn't be there anyways. I don't understand how it's there because it is a sacrificed body and then reanimated to have the voice and memories and like abilities of whoever it's being reanimated, but never does it say the body is like becomes the body itself.
Right.
Actually, it's shown that it's not that. It's shown that they blow to pieces and then come back. So to use the poison sack, that just I don't know. I hate it. I think it is a hole. It's a hole in Naruto, and Naruto has them. There's several. Nothing that I think like ruins it, but yeah, I mean it's definitely there.
It's similar to the Kakuzu, scenario of like the heart that we talked about last week. It's like it's not really how that works in the way they've explained it,
Yeah.
Or it's like if it did work, it should be weaker or something. There should be some caveat with it or whatever.
Yeah. Now, I mean, fortunately, as we saw, like Kakuzu wasn't really a thing. Like he was just kind of there and kind of dealt with. Sure. Tenten came out of nowhere with a kill.
2 of them, right?
Yeah, I said.
Yeah, but go ahead.
I have a note that says Tenten misses. She misses with the fan.
Yes.
And goes, hey, I'm pretty good with this thing.
Yes. I said the same thing.
And I wrote that down, and then as I finished, I like hit enter to like complete the comment, and then she immediately got the kill with it. And I said, then immediately gets a kill. ...
When I was watching it, I said, in what world so loud Taylor had to check on me? My wife came to check on me to see if I was okay. Because I was like, in what world? As soon as she said, I'm pretty good with this thing, I was just no, you're not.
No. And later, like, this is such a little moment in the batch, but later in the batch, she's following Ino back at the camp. And I wrote a note that she wants the ninja tool because it makes her relevant. Because that's the most screen time that Tenten has had since tuning exams.
Yeah.
No, okay, I guess maybe that first arc with Neji, Lee, Tenten.
I forgot about that.
Where they helped, they did. Yeah, just be better. Be better than you were a minute ago. That's so easy. I would guess that would be it.
Yeah.
That's been a while. That's been a couple hundred episodes now.
I literally, when she saw it laying in the water, whenever she picked it up, I literally was like, good grief. Like,
you're that out on it? Like, nah.
It's just, I don't know. It's like one of those cynical, like, okay, got to give her something to do, I guess.
Oh, yeah. Like, we can't fully forget. So,
right.
Here's the bone that's been thrown to her. And I think that's totally what this is.
100%.
It's really random that it's Tenten, though. I mean, like, there's also Kiba that I think we could all agree is forgettable, other than the fact that he's so annoying. I mean,
Tenten's just less annoying.
Yeah, exactly.
Y'all remember when he was in my top 3?
I
don't remember. I remember him being in your top 3 most hated. Maybe.
I want you guys to feel this later. All of the regretful remarks and everything where you're like, man, what a dumb take. I want you to know that I knew at the time that you said it that it was a dumb take, and I still had to let you have that thought.
You had to be like, yeah, Kiba's so cool.
Yeah. No, I just like to give you guys a hard time. I've actually, I mean, the Kiba take I disagree with, but like also Connor, who's one of my best friends, like he loves Kiba, so like they're.
I knew I didn't trust him,
and you shouldn't. But but I think there are worse characters to pick. As much as I don't like Kiba, like
Sure.
It's whatever. If his annoying attitude is what you're like after in anime, then cool. You'll find a bunch of characters like that throughout anime. But I think it's just like it's like a character that I'm just so quick to ignore at this point.
Yeah, that makes sense. I think Kiba, like, to defend Kiba the tiniest, slightest bit, he seems aware of what's going on and not aware of like his own lack of ability, which is relatable, as I've been there before and I've experienced so many people who are like that.
Well, so back to the next thing that happens after. What are you making fun of me?
No, I'm making faces at Zach, pretending I'm Kiba, I guess.
It's just that when you said that, me and Logan both in sync went.
Because it was like, we agree. We're like, what are we gonna say? Like, no, I agree.
It's just a confirmation, of like, I get what you're saying.
It's such a typical podcast thing. Ooh, breaking the fourth wall. But what I was gonna bring up next was InoShikaCho have to fight Asuma. But before we get into that, who takes on and kind of delays Asuma is two guys that I'm actually going to share my screen for this. Hang on.
Go for it.
There's this meme that goes around. Those two guys from Naruto. Oh, I've got the names in there as well. But that's them. If you remove this, it will still be them. And there's all of these like fan art things because they're just like the most generic ninjas, I guess. But I wanted you guys to like see this because like you never see them, but they've got this little like niche like fan base. It's just the weirdest thing. But yeah, I just want to bring them up because like you don't like we've seen them right before the tuning exams outside the door. They are like trick them or whatever. They look younger and then they, transform in their age, and then nothing. And then they're here at the fight and they're like, we got them. And then they obviously don't. And they go somewhere else because they don't die somehow. It's just like this weird Naruto like rabbit hole that has appeared. Yeah. But let's talk about InoShikaCho. Sad.
Yeah.
But also kind of Choji a bitch, right?
I mean,
I've got a lot of feelings about it. I've even put down that I would probably react the same as Choji. Even being like he's being a bitch, I would still be that same way. I get it.
The line that I crossed there is like, but I also played football, right? So in football practice, you have to play against your teammates to get better, and it's not personal. Like if I broke my arm in practice one time because someone hit me so hard, that's just part of it. And I was literally out for half the season, but I knew not to put my arms the same way again. So there's something came out of it, but that's the line I cross. Is I get you don't want to hurt your friends, but they're going to recover if you do hurt them. And that's not, your goal isn't to kill them. It's to train, And that's the line of like, I can't comprehend where Choji's coming from. I get the kindness aspect of it, but you got to train with your people in a safe environment to where you can like try new things out. I mean, that's in
I get that.
anything that you're practicing. You need someone to practice with, you know.
I completely agree. And I think that, and back to like the actual fight with Asuma though, like that's not even his body. Like I don't get it. Like I don't get that. Like, and I completely agree with practicing and like I've never like been a boxer or anything, but like I would imagine with sparring, like you still have to kind of hit. Like
Sure.
maybe you're not like trying to like knock them out, but it's sparring. Like that's like you have to like practice. So when the actual fight comes, you have some experience.
Exactly.
So it kind of feels weird to me to be like, well, that's his strength. It's like, well, he has no experience either. He won't even fight. He won't hit anybody.
Yeah. Which is
also like,
go ahead, Asher.
I was just gonna say they're not killing them; they're sealing them too.
Yeah, because
so it's like on top, right? Yeah, like on top of the fact, like it's not his body; it is his soul, it is his personality. Like I could see that being hard to deal with. I don't think it would be for me, but then again, in the fourth Great Ninja War, maybe Asher a bitch,
maybe.
But it's like, I mean, if they're not actually like dying again, it seems like that would be easy to just. All right, I'm gonna beat the shit out of this guy.
Yeah, like he's not even gonna feel it either. Like they don't like. I don't know. There's a lot of
and
holes
he's asking you to do it.
Yeah, like it's not like he's there as your enemy. He's literally like cheering you on and giving you instructions on how to beat him.
Like Choji's fist almost made it to his face, and he said, "Here we go. You're doing it."
Yeah,
and then he doesn't. He's like, "What are you doing, Choji?" It's like. Seriously, come on. This isn't even this is, like no one's gonna think in the history of the Leaf or any village, man, Choji took out his own boss. What a absolute scumbag.
Yeah.
Like, no. You did your job. So I think Choza had a sweet moment. We got some context with his character, which was cool, and I'm kind of interested now to see more backstory with Shikaku and Ino's father. What's his name?
Oh gosh, I don't even know. Yamanaka is their clan
I almost said
name,
Ibiki, but I put it down here somewhere.
Yeah,
it's like Isobu or something like that.
Is it an Ino name? Because InoShikaCho seems to be a passed down thing.
Right. It's actually, I think that's, I don't know how to make sense of that. I need to do more research on this, but like Choza and Choji, that makes sense. And then Shikaku and then Shikamaru, that makes sense. But then
it's Inoichi.
Inoichi. Okay, so Ino is in that. And then I guess Ino Yamanaka, like the girl that we know, we're all friends with her, you know. That I guess is just like she doesn't have any more than Ino. Like I guess it's just Ino.
Yeah.
Just that.
Huh. Cool. Maybe. What'd you say it was? Ino what?
Inoichi.
Inoichi.
But yeah, it was cool to see some backstory with Choza because he seems to be like a pillar in the village in his own right. Like people look up to him and have, Asuma was having that conversation with him because, he's training his son and, there's some cool dynamic there between the teacher and the father, which was, cool to see.
Yeah.
But it kind of broke my heart for Choza because like you want your son or your kid to do the best they can. And like, he's stuck between, okay, well, he's not doing what he's supposed to be doing when it comes to being a great shinobi, and he's being told that's okay. Right. And like all the way up until the final transformation, it was like, is this going to happen? Like, is he going to like show up or not? I thought that was a really cool way to tell the story for sure.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. And it's a huge deal. Like, for Choji to sprout those butterfly wings without taking those pills, like that's crazy.
Sure.
Because we'd have to go back to OG Naruto to get all the explanation, but we had previously been told that that's like basically not achievable without the help of the pills. So to be honest, I can't remember if we get more explanation on that or not. Maybe it's in some filler. I know that there's so much filler in the war arc as a whole that I've actually never even watched that I can think of, because there's a lot of them. I was looking through like at basically the rest of the series to see how it would all break down, and there's a lot that I just like have no recollection of.
You didn't watch Road to Sakura?
I did not. But I'm sure it's in there somewhere. I guess it would technically be filler, but like it has to cover it. There's like a lot. There's a whole episode just on Chio that I saw. That's like the soul of the puppet master. So yeah, I mean, I'm inclined to like watch it, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to watch it with you guys. I don't think it's worth covering like in this podcast. But I don't know. If you're watching and you have seen it all and you have a strong feeling on the filler, like I think Lance has actually seen it all. Let us know, because I'm kind of torn, because there's so much I still want to watch series that I've never seen, but I would appreciate more like world building with Naruto, even with as much as I know now. So yeah, let us know what you think, because it could sway us. Besides, like we were talking before we started recording with the Kakashi arc, there's definitely some good arcs. I'm sure there's stuff in there that I'm missing out on, and I'm sure there's some that's absolutely terrible.
Well, even like I can't remember if it was in this or the batch before this, but like Gaara and Tamari are talking, or like I don't know. I think Tamari and Shikamaru are around like some of those people that were in the filler arc right at the end of OG Naruto that kind of got attached to them a little bit in some ways. So it's like, I mean, it would be fun and interesting to watch that at some point, but I definitely don't want to go back right now.
Right. I always get in that like same mode. Like even before we started this podcast, I've mentioned this before, I was doing a watch through of Naruto with the intention of watching all of the filler. And then we started this, and it is, but I was like, I was going to do it because I'll like make breakfast. I work from home. So like I'll make breakfast in the morning, and I just have the ability to just like throw something on. So right now it's One Piece, but at the time it was Naruto. So my idea was I'll just always be making breakfast, so eventually I'll get through it all. But that's where I'm at with One Piece, and it feels insurmountable. So that's.
Can I just tell you all real quick? We had somebody out from the HEP company to look at our roof today. They've got to like patch a little section of it. And this dude was like, we just started talking about anime. He's on episode 850 of One Piece right now, and has watched all of Naruto and like a bunch of other stuff. I was like, in the most unlikely places.
That's awesome. Yeah, sure. I love that.
Yeah. It was cool. I was like, dang, I got to start watching One Piece again, because I'm still on like 220 or whatever.
Yeah, I'm at 312 and I'm switching to Avatar to watch that. So yeah. You've got time to catch up to me.
It's true. I'll do it. Hey, I did want to mention, like, when Choji sprouted the wings, like, it made me want to go back and watch that last arc where they're all chasing after Sasuke in the Sound Ninja 4, because I was like, there's probably some like parallels going on here. Like we see Neji and we see, all of them fighting.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good thought. I've not even. Well, yeah, forgettable. Even Kishimoto forgot after it came out. He was like, "Shit, how did I forget that?" Yeah, I. That's what I was kind of talking about earlier. I can't remember for sure, but I would assume that there are a lot of parallels there, because we get a lot of information in that arc specifically about the Akamichi clan, and then we don't get any more information until this
for
little bit like that, and that really was only episodes. 3 episodes, and that's more than just about Akamichi. We got maybe 15 minutes dedicated just to that,
right?
And there's so much more about all of the clans, like the Nara. What is the Ino? Help me. What's their last name? Yamanaka. Those clans, we saw a little bit with the Nara clan and their secret land or sacred land. But there's just a lot about those clans that has been written about, but it's just not in the show. So you gotta seek it out in other ways, like novels and whatnot, which I've heard are great. I hear some of them are very good. And there's a series that's coming out right now that is actually Kishimoto is listed as an author for them. Yeah. And those are, from what the reviews say, are great. They're on my wish list on Goodreads, but I'll check those out maybe and let you guys know, or maybe if y'all check them out, let me know, because it's just a matter of time before I get there. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff about them that is, really interesting and has a lot of backstory to it. And a lot of stuff in Naruto is inspired directly or, in part by something that's real in Japanese culture or Chinese culture. So I feel like there's all this stuff that gets all this nuanced, meaning that just goes so far over my head because I'm not Japanese and don't understand all that or have not done the proper research into it. But I'm sure who has?
Jet Kirby.
Yeah, that's a cool theme song every time.
It reminds me of Power Rangers from the 90s.
It's Cat Scratch Fever, if you want to know.
Oh, dang. We're getting taken down now.
I'll think of a new one.
So, InoShikaCho takes down Asuma, and then for the rest of the batch, we kind of spend it with B and Naruto, and we get this one episode where, what, Zach? We get this one episode where it's a whodunit, and then we'll get more on that later. But besides that, we spend most of the time with B and Naruto. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about how they try to preoccupy Naruto with literal filler mission and filler anime episode missions. It's this animal that's here has the Nine Tails chakra, and we need to defeat it. That's something that would be in a filler anime or in a filler episode from OG Naruto.
Yeah. The reason I reacted when you said that about spending the rest of the time with them is I want to know so much more about both of them and where they're at in progress to getting to the fight. And I was essentially saying, thank goodness.
Yeah,
I'm all about the war, but I want to see where he's at. And I just want to know more. And
yeah,
it was satisfying. It was a good ending to this batch to sit with them. Mm-hmm. The whodunit definitely felt like filler until the end of the episode where everybody's involved. But at first I was just like, is this a mistake? Should we actually be watching this? And I was like, okay, yeah, this makes sense. So it's more than just oh no, it's no, this could actually be a problem in the war itself. So
yeah. Oh, a big problem too. That revealed itself to be from this like you said, filler into this everybody could be at risk here.
Sure. But I had a feeling as soon as Neji is talking to Sakura, not that they've never talked, but we've never seen them talk, and they don't seem like characters who would be I don't know, buddies really.
Yeah,
just because I don't see them really interacting just with their separate personalities. So even from that, I was like, this is weird.
But they kept you until the bitter end, because before the break, when he walks into Sakura's tent, she was like, "Oh, hey, Neji," and he doesn't respond. Which is typical Neji.
Right.
But then after that, it's wait, who is this? Like, this doesn't feel right.
Yeah.
So it was cool,
Yeah.
but it was slightly predictable, but at the same time, like I was honestly thinking it was this other random creepo in the village who just had a love letter. So
See, that worked.
They got me.
Yeah, yeah. The 40K in a day, and then 50K from their side, but it's different. But 40K in a day,
that's a lot of fighting.
Crazy. That's
a lot of kunai.
Yeah.
Dude, hold on for a second, because the first note that I made for this entire batch, I can't believe anyone thinks throwing a kunai will work.
No.
Why does anyone have a kunai at this point?
I don't know.
I've not brought this up several times because I feel like the answer is just going to be, it's just one of those Naruto things.
I wish that I didn't have to answer with that so often, but there is
for sure. Like, there's no way it's not. Like,
what
it's
is it?
So, no, I'm saying, like, there's no way it's not just a Naruto thing. Like,
oh, you're saying you've not brought up the kunai thing?
Yeah, like I've thought about
you're
this
going to bring up something else,
for weeks,
Yeah,
and I just haven't, because I know the answer is that's just something they do.
Yeah,
and I mean, it's the same thing with training, like all the way back to Sasuke and Itachi. Like, they're practicing throwing kunai for what reason? They're never going to use them. I mean,
right? It's the best.
It's got to help reflexes or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe.
The best answer that I can give you is the reason that Boruto, the series that comes after this, got a big nerf in the fighting animation, not quality, just like in style, because you can see, like, Naruto had a tailed beast bomb the size of like a house in his hand, and he was just like pushing it. That's a big step from like OG Naruto. So in storytelling, there has to be like a scale. Now this is like Kishimoto. This is a loose quote of Kishimoto, but there has to be a scale to that fight, because if everything is always up here, then it cheapens it. So the hand-to-hand combat is used, and I would assume the kunai is used to kind of scale that back down so that things can be reset, so that like you can feel this big, like how much power is in a new move. So
that's smart.
Yeah. So with Boruto, you see so much taijutsu, and it's very well animated, and it looks great.
That's just fighting,
just like hand-to-hand combat, fighting. And Kishimoto is telling the power scale in like a different way. Like the power scale has almost gone beyond that like huge like power move it back to hand-to-hand combat, because they're that strong that hand-to-hand combat is basically like they'll cancel each other out. So hand-to-hand combat's like the option for them. So it is annoying, but I think that is like one of those like necessary storytelling things. Zach, I know that you've got something.
All I have to say in response to that is, like, I just wish one would land every now and then.
Oh,
like,
yeah. No,
even if it's just like a shoulder or like an arm or like a leg or whatever. Like, pull one out. Like, I get it. Like, it sucks, but you got hit, but it's not going to kill you. Like, but they at least got one.
Yeah.
And not like,
that's a great point.
I dodged all of them.
Right. Because that's like stormtroopers shooting blasters and never hitting.
Oh, yeah.
Best way to compare that. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kunai equals red laser.
Yeah, at a certain
point.
Versus
a lightsaber. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like at a certain point, it just doesn't make sense to miss that often. That's a great point, Zach. So Naruto, then let's go back to him. Talks to the Nine Tails just for a little bit, but he makes a promise to the Nine Tails, and Naruto seems to be a person to deliver on promises so far. What was that promise, Zach?
He promised to help him remove his hate.
Yeah.
And see the good. And yeah. I definitely predict that they're going to be buddies in the future, but I don't know.
What did I say? What have I been saying?
Yeah, sure. You did call this notion. Now it's not happened, but Naruto is gunning for it.
But it's still.
What was this?
I don't know.
Celebrating. You just did.
I'm a free human being.
A joyful
do whatever
jig.
I want.
There is a difference between the way we originally said it, Asher, because we both were like, yeah, at some point, like, he's going to let the fox, like, fully take over. And that's just not possible with all the context we know now. Mm. But I do feel like in the context with B and the octopus, the eight tails, like,
makes more sense.
They can work together. Like, okay, it might be in the best interest of the fox to not, go through all this damage if he's being hurt. Like, I don't know. That's just kind of where my mind is wandering in this. Like, I just predict and foresee, like, at some point, maybe it's the hate conversation or whatever, but I think that they're going to work in tandem.
Yeah. They got to fight Susan one day.
Yeah. Susan is pretty big.
The next big thing
Susan
we got introduced to. Like, that's only one of the giant.
Oh, you're talking
enemies.
About the ghetto statue.
Now you got two Susans.
Which honestly, that is pretty ghetto. That statue's pretty ghetto.
Oh my God. I can't believe you, out of all three of us.
Here's the deal, though. That thing is wild.
It is, isn't it? It's kind of hard to look at.
Sure. I got some wild screen captures of the ghetto statue. But yeah, I mean, back to what you were saying about Sasuke and Susan, like, as powerful as Naruto's current form is, where he's like a walking flashlight, I don't think that it has in the same relationship to the kunai versus the beast bomb, like
spirit bomb.
Like, that fight would look weird if it was a small person fighting a big object,
Right.
I don't know. I think that something's going to have to.
Or it could be Choji and Choza and make Naruto a mecha anime.
Seeing as how they got absolutely bodied by this thing,
yeah,
I don't know, bro.
They got bodied.
They're like, they were literally like yeeted across the map.
Yeah.
From one blow, both of them. Like,
yeah,
crazy.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, that's the whole like power creep kind of thing that we've been talking about, because it's like, okay, we see Chozo, we see Choji like fighting, and like they're the most powerful thing on the battlefield, and then this bitch comes in and it's like, not anymore.
Wipes him away. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it makes it very evident then. Like, oh, okay, well, we're told that thing is a beast.
Not going to be defeated by Tenten with her new fan, much less her million kunai.
Absolute Gatling gun misses every single kunai.
Who let Tenten go this long just working with kunai?
Yeah,
like, great job.
If she's missing so much, who's like, here is our long range specialist, Tenten, and she's like, my accuracy is 8.
Yeah, I mean, if you were on the map with Tenten, you're like, okay, there's bots over here, let's take it out.
Literally, yes. I was gonna say she's me at the end of a Fortnite match. Even if I've gotten first place, accuracy 13%. Hell yeah.
I think 13 is still too high. So, yeah, with the cloning stuff with Neji, I think that that's a great example. We were talking about payoff a little bit earlier. I think that's a great example of like seemingly insignificant things having a big meaning later. Because I mean, this isn't the biggest thing in the world, but like I didn't even think twice, even knowing this story, like I had forgotten this part. I didn't think twice whenever Zetsu was like pulling chakra out of Neji, like at the beginning of the last batch that we were in.
Yeah, he had him like in the bear hug or Venus flytrap thing.
Exactly. And if they didn't show that like recall, I would have forgotten that entirely. Sure. And it ended up being a big deal. But like it happened, and you know, we all three of us, we didn't even mention it last time because it just didn't seem significant. And I think that's what makes like long animes like great. And some short animes will do that too, but you get obviously more time to forget and then be reminded with longer anime.
True.
So my question is like Neji wasn't even there with Kiba. That was always a Zetsu.
It was always a Zetsu.
There's the real Neji is somewhere else in a completely different part of.
He was with Kiba. Yeah, he was at his like front line basically of whatever battlefield
but that's where
he was on.
That's where the episode started, and like Neji looked off in the distance, and then I need to go to the medical field because I'm off.
And then the episode like was told in a way to make you think that he went, but then after we found out that Neji that wasn't Neji and it was Zetsu, then we see Neji and Kiba at the camp or like at the front line still, and Neji's like, Kiba stopped, like I'm not going to the medical ninja, just like leave me alone. And then remember he yells at Akamaru, and Kiba's like. He's like, can't you even tell that that's not me, you idiot? And because Neji's used his eyes so much that I guess he's blind. I don't really understand that, but yeah. So
also,
he
leave
never
Akamaru out of this.
Yeah. What do you do? He just whimpers. It was so sad.
That's where I was disconnected. I thought that was a flashback to the beginning because Zetsu didn't know that Tenten was a pig either. So I was like, oh dang, that's context for like.
Right.
He was never even there.
Yeah, Neji. Yeah, so Neji never went. It was only Zetsu, and that's why Zetsu didn't know, because like Neji would have known that Tenten was a pig, because remember Shizune showed the pig to everybody. Like, and Neji's in that same group. Like, if he went to the medical ninja tent, it would have been Sakura's. Like that's why it wasn't unexpected for Neji to come to that specific medical camp. Yeah. So he would have already known. That's why Sakura was tipped off, because like Neji would have known that was a pig. So yeah, he was never there.
Smart gal. And then she beat the shit out of that guy.
Yeah. Just one shot straight to the ground.
Hey, before we get too much further, I wanted to go back just for a second and talk about the flashback where Aruka, this is a note I made, was Aruka's just trying to get through the day with these kids.
Bro.
Yes.
And then best Shino quote of the entire series, and I don't see him topping this. You can't be constipated and have the runs.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I love that Naruto, like, both ends. You runny crappy. What do you call them? You hard runny crap turd or something like that. That was the subtitles. I don't know.
It's such a like 6-year-old like comeback or something.
Yeah. What do you remember? What the dub was in that part?
Not that part. I only did the Shino quote.
Yeah.
And Shikamaru saying, "It's okay. I know you stink at stuff like this. It's a drag for me too."
Yeah, that is direct from the sub as well. It's like it's a drag is such a like. We don't even really hear Shikamaru say that much anymore, because he's like taking on this new adult role. But gosh, they really like to lean into like sayings or catchphrases in OG Naruto.
Yes.
So young Konoha 11 is what you're talking about with like the young kids with with Aruka and everything.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I told you guys this, but there is a filler from OG Naruto where it's called the Konoha 11, and it's basically everybody but Sasuke that we're like familiar with. So all the teams. So I put that down as a note, like young Konoha 11, like exclamation, but then realize that it's only 8 because Neji and Lee and Tenten are a year older. So they're not there for all that. But it is cool to see them all really young. I think that it's cool that they were like all friends, but still acted like they didn't really know each other all that well. They were still just kind of like, that Naruto kid's so annoying. And then he runs and casually jumps over a 10-foot fence. Like, dude, he's like not a ninja. Bink, right over the fence. Yeah, and then you've got Hinata, who's just...
She's there.
Every time she's about to talk, some girl's like...
Every time.
Beat him up, Sasuke!
Yeah.
That reminded me of something Jet Kirby said about... what did he say? It was basically like Naruto had a learning disability. Like, it was to that level, because, I mean, he's just not... He's not it as far as an up-and-coming
honestly,
Shinobi,
that would make complete sense. Like, he's had, like, no parents. Like, I was thinking about this whenever I was watching this scene by chance. Like, there's a chance he didn't know how to... Well, I guess I don't know. Okay, there's a chance he didn't know how to read or write, like, for a long time because he had no help at home. But then I started to say that and realized that if I didn't go to school, I also wouldn't know how to read or write. But like, you know, like not having parental help with stuff. Like I was, you know, how did Naruto pick up the language? Like what? Like, and who took care of him as an infant? Like there's some. If he was an infant immediately, there's like at what point do you start living alone? Like if we picked up at 12, that feels early. And even before then, we see that he lives alone whenever he's younger at this age with like the young stuff. So,
I mean,
I don't know. It makes
based
no
on
sense
the
to me.
evidence that Naruto has displayed to us, we have to believe it was the fox. He said he took care of him all this time.
That's a good point.
That's very interesting.
He was the one feeding him. He was nurturing. Do you think the fox was feeding?
I think he feeds him through all 9 tails right into one little...
And it just like tail beast bomb milk.
You had me there for a minute.
Tailed beast bomb milk sounds delicious.
I mean, the end of a foxtail is white.
Not this one, though.
Sure. I get it.
I'll shut up. So Naruto senses the wars going on, which was a long time coming, and breaks out. And you remember whenever I said that I didn't like the Raikage? You remember that?
Mm-hmm.
This is all that was in my head. This was in my head whenever I said that.
Sure.
He gets him though.
Yeah, but he's just so annoying for some reason. I don't know. I just don't like him.
He's being an a-hole.
Oh,
here's the deal, though.
I
know I say that a lot. I'm sorry.
Here's the deal.
So, as annoying as his character is, the placement and the purpose of this encounter is what B was going to do originally before he broke out, which was to spar and train him in a fight to let him try to work out this stuff in context to actually fighting. And so he's able to do this with someone who is a top tier, you know, shinobi in that sense, and like figure out his speed and all this other stuff. As annoying as it was like it had a purpose, you know. It wasn't like a waste of anyone's time, because the conversation in and of itself was like, just get over it, bro. Like, you know, and Tsunade kind of put that into context too, but
yeah.
Also, B had a staring match with Tsunade's breasts.
I wrote that
part
down.
cracked me up.
I wrote that down.
So bad.
He said, "What's up, brah?" And then later, "I promise I meant no offense. It's just that the Hokage's jugs are definitely immense."
Oh my gosh.
Dude, I was dead. I was like, well, can't kill him for being honest. I mean, he said the thing out loud, you know?
He lives in the moment and notices the things around him. Like, for as much as I kind of think he's like in his own world and in his head, he's present, you know?
Yeah. But he blushed. He blushed. He was like, but after the war can holla at the octopops, baby.
The baby. So let's talk about how in the flashback with B, we get these two guys peeing next to each other, and the dialogue in the dub is there. One guy is peeing and looks at the other guy and goes, "Hurry up already." What is that?
While he's peeing, still peeing.
He's also peeing. What is that dialogue? We couldn't
hurry up already.
We couldn't come up with anything better. Like,
I'm trying to.
It was terrible.
Man. Yeah, it's tough.
Ugh.
It was tough.
I had to bring
literally,
it up. It was just so bad.
When they just show the stream before they show where that came from, I was like, what is this fountain going to be? Nope. I was right before it switched scenes. I was like, that might be piss.
real Austin Powers.
Yeah.
Yeah. Switcheroo there.
Oh, well. Is there anything else that you guys wanted to talk about from the batch?
Yes. Can we talk about B rapping at the Raikage's funeral? Wild.
And he rapped at the Jing Cherokee's funeral too.
Yes. But he threw up that confetti when he was done. This is not a celebration, homie.
That is so B. Like, I love his character, man.
Dude, that's back to last episode that we recorded. That's some DJ Khaled energy. Like, he was going to throw that confetti no matter what the hell happened.
No matter what, it was going to be thrown. I agree. I think that B has some DJ Khaled energy.
He
can back it up more. Yeah, he's way smarter.
B would have finished Hot Ones. Niche reference, but DJ Khaled was on Hot Ones, the show where they do the hot sauces.
And so wild. He did
quit in the middle.
He quit
and was like, "I'm still winning." And Sean was just like, "You're not. You lost.
You didn't do it, dog."
It's ridiculous.
If you've not seen that one, Logan, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
That's insane.
The most cringe.
That's awful. I'm cringing and I've not even watched it.
I know. Yeah. Rough.
I have one other thing too. I don't know if you have anything you wanted to throw in there, Asher.
Oh.
So we got at the very end, we got a pretty daunting revelation for Madara. All the 6 new pains all have a Jinchuriki, a Rinnegan, and a Sharingan.
Those aren't the 6 new pains. Those are the 7 other... Or no. Those are the 6 other Jinchuriki. Because Gaara was revived. And then B and Naruto. So those are
pretty sure he said these 6 new pains.
You're right. But
yeah, I'm confused too because I made the same note.
Okay, so those
Explain.
Characters have the power of pain that we saw from the 6 paths of pain from pain. But those bodies and what their powers are, who they are reanimated, and the powers that they'll possess are those of the Jinchuriki. Because like back at the beginning of Shippuden up until now, we saw these Jinchuriki being taken, some of them in filler episodes, some of them in canon, but they were taken. That's who those people are. But now they have the power that we saw from each of those like paths of pain from the assault on Konoha. Does that make sense?
I don't like that.
He said 6 new pains.
Yeah, because they have those. Yeah, and because he has those powers. But I just want you to know that those people, like you remember the all those orange-haired people from the 6 Paths of Pain, like from who killed Jiraiya and who attacked the Leaf Village. Those were just people. Like those were just like reanimated. Bodies. Like yeah, those were people, and they had those powers. They had the power of like that path of pain. And these Jinchuriki also have those powers, or each one has one of the powers, but they are Jinchuriki. So I just want you to know that they have significance, like beyond they have the paths of pain power. Does that make sense?
I see.
Yeah. I'm confused why you're trying to clarify, because I said that.
Did you know that they were Jinchuriki before?
Yeah, I said
that.
Yeah, I said Madara. This is the note I wrote down that I just said out loud. Madara said that the 6 new pains all have a Jinchuriki and a Rinnegan and a Sharingan eye.
Yeah. Okay, so sorry. I was just letting you know that he wasn't making new Jinchuriki. Those are reanimated people.
Right. I knew that he was using the Jinchuriki that he collected.
Okay. Sorry. My fault. I misunderstood.
You're good.
I mansplained to you something that you totally understood. So
totally, but it's all good.
I thought that I was, okay, go ahead.
No, I just think it's crazy. This is going to be nuts.
No, it is. It's a problem. And I guess that was why I was trying to make that like point, was that we haven't seen, like, it's worse than just the 6 Paths of Pain, because now they have these other powers of a Jinchuriki that's going to be a problem to deal with. Now, the problem that I don't like is that with like a hole in the show is how are they Jinchuriki? How do they have the power of the Jinchuriki reanimated whenever they've had the Jinchuriki pulled? Like they've had the tailed beast pulled out of them, so they're no longer Jinchuriki.
Well, I guess he put them back in because they like the Akatsuki are the ones who pulled it out of them, right?
Right. So I guess the ghetto statue like place. Maybe the next batch will explain that, and I'm just forgotten. But
gotcha.
Maybe he did pour the tailed beast back into them, or at least a little bit or something. But if it's just reanimation, then it's kind of, it doesn't make a lot of sense to me that they would still have like the tailed beast power.
Hold the phone a second. If he poured some of that power back in, that would make sense, because he wants to keep some of it, because he wants to summon 10 tails, right?
Yeah, and he has all the 9 tails now. Because he's got bees.
Octopus.
Remember whenever Sasuke got just a tentacle? So he's got some.
Tentacles,
like it won't be, he couldn't do to the fullest extent, but he's got some with bees, and then he got the Kinkaku and Ginkaku. Yeah. So he's got 8 and 9. So
holy crap.
Yeah. Pretty serious. Yeah. And so now it's him, and he's trying to, do this plan, and then he's got 6 Jinchuriki next to him that are reanimated. And I think that they are, well, I mean, we'll find out, but I'm pretty sure that they're like completely locked down. Like they don't even have their personalities. They might have their personality, but they're not fighting on their own. Like, how Hanzo was like fighting willingly, controlling his body. And then like Asuma had no control of his body because like he wasn't going to be willing to fight. So
right,
it's going to be fierce. But the next batch is pretty short in comparison. So this next batch is 296 through 302. But which I think is
all
only
over the place.
Yeah, which I think is I think that's only 7 episodes, but or 6. But from here on out, the batches get pretty big and hover from around the lowest. I think is 9. After this one, I think the lowest is 9 and the highest is 14. And so we stay in between there for the rest of the series. So
here for it.
And there's not really, the only way to break it up beyond that is that's kind of breaking it at where the filler's at, because there's just so much filler that it would be weird to do like 5 and then like 4 and then skip a bunch of episodes and do like 1 more or whatever. And then split that up into like smaller batches. So this is just kind of where it is. It's a lot to cover in a week, honestly. But yeah, episodes 296 through 302. Is there anything else you guys wanted to talk about?
I just wanted to say he's got talent, but not really as a rapper.
I think he's great. I think he's better than you give him credit for.
That was a direct quote, by the way. When they were like talking about him being the Jinchuriki.
Oh, really?
At the campfire.
Yeah.
Oh.
The previous Jinchuriki, it's like he said what Asher said, and then Raikage at the time, but the Raikage was like, yeah, but he's got spunk or something like that.
Oh, one thing I think we kind of glazed over was that like Pain / Nagato and Itachi were sort of having a conversation. I don't really have anything to say about it. I'm just excited to see some more from them.
Yeah, I got a interesting vibe from that convo for sure.
Yeah.
When I'm kind of under the impression that they don't have control of their bodies either.
Right.
But they're obviously they have their personalities, but because they're like talking about themselves being used against their will. And maybe they like walk there on their own or something. And they're like, well, it's just a matter of time until we're like forced to do it or something. I'm not really sure on their like freedom state.
Right.
It definitely gave me the vibe that they were like there for a reason, but they didn't want to be.
Yeah. Oh, like I don't think. Yeah, I think.
Yeah. Itachi for sure. If he had free reign, like he probably would have went to either find Naruto or Sasuke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And because he doesn't want, from the vibe that I got from that conversation, neither one of them want to fight. They're not wanting to hurt anybody.
Yeah.
So
I think they both died like that. I think they both died and they were like, all right, I'm kind of happy with this. And
sure.
Yeah, so to be brought back, they're like, great. To do what?
No bueno.
And they both know it's for bad intentions. Like their own, like.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, I think out of all the people reanimated, they might be the strongest to like fight against it too. I mean, Zabuza, Haku as well, but emotionally, but I don't know. Just like pure force of will and strength. It'd be cool if they like broke out of it and somehow were helpful or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, with the Mangekyu, which he doesn't have anymore, though.
Well, maybe because other people had, like, Kakazu has the heart, so.
Well, no, he said that. They even said that they were walking, and Itachi says, "With your Rinnegan and my Mangekyu Sharingan, like we could do anything."
So
we wanted.
Do for sure. Wow.
It just doesn't make sense again. Like that literally was stolen from him.
I know. He like his reanimated body shouldn't have. Well,
right.
That's
so weird.
Gosh, that's a problem. Like it's a
maybe
problem. Like, there's so many holes with the reanimation.
That's what I'm saying. Though, like maybe Kabuto like did a great job with some and like overlooked others, and maybe he assumed some of them would just be like, I don't know, pure evil. Where
I don't
they're
know,
not.
like maybe it's because they died and then it was stolen. When they died, they had that ability still, and then it was taken.
That's a good point.
Because Sasuke didn't take it from him when he was alive, and Madara didn't take it from him when he was alive. Both like Itachi's was pretty immediate, but Nagato's was a while.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, and Itachi's wasn't necessarily immediate. Like there was some time between Sasuke killing him and then he didn't actually take Itachi's eyes until after he killed Danzo, and then Toby had to, or Madara had to pull him out of that fight, and then he took the eyes. So there was definitely some time, but it was less than Nagato's.
Yeah.
Speaking of Toby, Zetsu did call Madara Toby again.
I noticed that. I wrote that down too. What is up?
So confused. Don't act like you don't know.
I do know.
I'm ending the episode right now.
I wish you had. That honestly, just cut it there. Yeah. So 296 through 302.
No cards?
Oh, that's right. Hang on, I gotta go get my cards.
I think Madara took somebody's body named Toby.
Really?
I don't know. No, I'm asking.
What?
I was asking Zach, does he think Madara took someone's body named Toby? I mean, he's been alive for like hundreds of years at this point or something. We don't really know. It hasn't been said yet. So I'm just assuming he's taken over someone's body. Just like Orochimaru wanted to do to Sasuke.
But why would Zetsu call him that if that was like... You think he was friends with this Toby person?
Yeah, because Zetsu is as old as the Earth itself. I don't know. I'm making stuff up now. As old as the Earth
itself.
Zetsu has been around since creation. I think so Zetsu used to be a part of nature in a beautiful, harmonious way and got bored with it. And as soon as Toby / Madara came along,
it is okay.
It is okay. That is Rock Lee. Boom. Ino Yamanaka. Hang on. Ino Yamanaka. Young Ino. Tamari.
Nice.
I love that the focus is exclusively on the background.
Last name redacted.
Nice.
Tamari of the Sand. I'm not kidding.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sakura
Haruno.
Haruno.
There's only 5 cards in these packs?
Yeah, I'll do another one.
What a ripoff for $4.99. They used to be $2.99.
That's so true. All right.
If this next one's not a Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Nice.
What's
his name? Who was that? Gamatetsu? Karin. Can't wait for her big return.
Our boy Naruto.
Who?
Your crush Anko.
Nice.
Gosh, she's beautiful.
Oh, and this one is upside down because it's special.
Hinata.
Heyo.
This is young Hinata. That's her about to do her stance where she starts like this and then she comes together and she goes, Naruto. I'll stand by it. All right, end the episode there.